Our myth begins to brew in the olden times before now, the times before purity and light roamed free, the times where purple darkness consumed the day and night skies, the times before La Rozoyo de Mon was slain by Dathena Triker, the damned warrior. Not long after the Trojan War ended came a new battle in the 14th century, a battle thou will not forget and a battle spilled with the stained blood of pure evil. This blood was that of the razor demon, an unholy, foul and wretched beast that had many powers unbelievable to the common man. The story is now told in movies and common media to humankind, but then it was told around the fire and told well by those who know of the myth. Some believed it was true and others believed it to be a fairy tale for kids, and none the less I tell you the tale so that I may know that which is true. Dathena Triker was a Caucasian muscular long black-haired Roman woman who wore a solid black eye patch on her left eye because it was taken from her on her 7th birthday when living in Rome. Her mother and father were brutally murdered by La Rozoyo de Mon, also known as the Razor Demon. The demon spared her life and left her as an image of what it brings to all lands who opposed its takeover. The demon of then could now be described as having traits or agendas to that of Adolf Hitler and the Nazis. When Dathena was just 27 years old and well trained in an underground cave by her mentor and caretaker of age 7 and up, she set out on a long, brutal, and daring quest to avenge her mother and father. Her quest began in 1430 Old England, where she tracked down an older man known only to others as the Wise One. This Wise One helped her to find where the demon was sulking and ultimately lead to the demon's defeat. The Wise One was known as that of a warlock in some cases, and others a wizard. Whatever he to be was unknown for sure, but what was known was that he held powers that gave him wonderful abilities and potions to make them. Some people say the Wise One had powers of blue and green electricity from which cometh of his hands, and others said that he could make rocks move with his very mind. Dathena only came because he was wise and knowledgeable of La Rozoyo de Mon, who was crowned and living in Greece. However, the Wise One did offer the damned warrior some of his finest brew. She, knowing that he had powers and truly knew, was not eager to be fused with magic and declined. After visiting the Wise One in Old England, aided by her bronze, Roman sword of death and her knowledge of the razor demon, she then set out further in her journey to get revenge. Dathena's next part of her journey involved her trotting to Belgium, where she first began to witness what the influence of the demon had on a then damned world, as opposed to what she later saw in her journey from England to Greece. The razor demon had begun slitting the wrist of the world and began making a new world built on human slavery and death. It had fear blazing through the breaths taken from every man, woman, and child except for Dathena. She was strong to the heart and braver than an army of 100 cowards. She slammed, slashed, and stabbed her way through the battle-broken Belgium and pushed through into the fogged, broken, and blood-drenched Germany, in which cities were common places to see. Horrors not to be spoken of. Upon entering a village, Dathena was shocked when she saw a burning house with a child of no more than 6 or 7 years old sitting in the ash outside of it. The child had no eyes because they were taken from her, just like Dathena's left eye was, and she was still alive. However, the same could not be said for her father, mother, and brother, who were all dead around her. The child, though in a trance, said merely one word:
razors.
Dathena did what she could to bandage the eyeless holes of her face and handed the child a bronze dagger. After that, she moved out to a nearby forest, where she saw more horrors like skinned corpses hanging from trees and impaled bodies on long, black metal rods. Dathena knew she was already in hell and that the devil was here and everywhere in Germany. She through her journey found and killed many razor demon ghouls which aided the demon, some monsters, others more or less human. By the time she had nearly reached the point out of Germany, it had been 4 blood-drip days of survival, stealth, and hardcore fighting. At one point after leaving Germany, the Wise One had managed to use his magic abilities and send to her a year-lasting stamina potion, to which allowed her to keep going in pursuit of revenge. She drank it and was able to run, jump, kill, and bash without any delays. She was powerful and only became more powerful in the long run. After her swift and somewhat easy escape from Germany, she was forced to endure harsh weather from the purple skies of the day and night. Storms with lightning passed every so often, and after 2 bone-cracked, battle-fused weeks of death, sadness, and darkness had she finally reached the next location on her journey, Romania. Romania was a different potion from what Germany was. It had castles, armies, and vast lands of red-stained color. Not much was destroyed, but merely damage to the visibility of the human eye, Athena's eye. However, Romania was once a thriving country full of prosperity, knights, castles, and such, but was now merely just a boneyard full of forgotten memories and dreams that had long died with the razor demon's takeover of the world. Athena's disgust grew stronger for every corpse, every dead child, every slain head she saw, and advanced her to a castle where she planned to intervene and eliminate some of the ghouls of Romania into red mist. Once in the castle had her battling many ghouls, including a behemoth called the Raghowl. She came out of the castle victorious and even gained a new weapon, the Bone Cracker. After 3 more days of disgruntled and disgusted travel through Romania, had she only then reached the second to last part of her journey, Bulgaria. Bulgaria was a dried-up and more or less hellish and thriving country where the razor demon had huge and strong establishments of stone, iron, and gold. He had fortresses built in his horrific image and palaces of gold built for his finest generals. In Bulgaria, Athena's thirst for revenge grew colossal, and her anger for what she saw blew up like a nuclear explosion. Athena tracked down and killed the 17 generals of Bulgaria, cutting their lifeless heads from their bodies, and took them with her. For these craniums were special meat, for they were the prize the demon was going to receive, and receive viciously. Athena Triker, the damned warrior of Rome, eventually reached the gates of hell, the exit out of Bulgaria and into the inferno country for which was Greece, and for which judgment and revenge was to be delivered to the razor demon. After what could only be decided on as 43 long hours, she, though wounded and a bit cold from all the death, had reached the wretched castle of the demon. She kicked open the big brown doors of the demon, threw down the severed heads of the generals, and slayed the ghouls, and came across another much bigger monster known as the Kroken. After slaying, she and the razor demon from which killed her mother and father fought in a deadly duel to the death, with Athena Triker, the damned warrior of Rome, being badly wounded. She eventually managed to drive her bronze-sharp sword right through the left eye of the razor demon and sent him into a spin. The razor demon's skull-like head had large red electric sparks deploying from it and sent Athena onto her bruised knees of muscle, to which the razor demon roared with madness and said,
"You are the damned skag of Rome, and here you will die. I will return to fully consume your world once more in 10,000 years."
And with that speech, the razor demon blew up into a million bones and sent the castle crashing down on the damned warrior, with Athena's last words being,
"I have avenged those who were taken from me, though victory has been given with this castle's collapse. Here lies my tomb, the tomb of the damned warrior."
Immediately after speaking, she was crushed with stone death and was no more a living soul, but instead a legend in her own time. The skies of day and night were no longer in purple darkness, and the lands were free from all evil, the world safe. For now. In the end, the wise one who knew of her whereabouts and her journey told it through olden paper, and it eventually managed to become one of the best-known myths in all of Rome. The end.